everybody, Leslie Flood from Yusen Associates here, and welcome back to our Spotlight series. Here with me today is Jason Khom from Kidde. How are you today, Jason?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. Thanks so much for joining us and taking the time to participate and have our audience learn a little bit more about you. Tell me, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Bedford, Massachusetts. So I lived there till the time I got married and then moved to Woburn and then eventually settled in Litchfield, New Hampshire.
Oh, awesome. Tell me, what was your first job there when you were growing up?
My first job in Bedford, I worked at Purity Supreme Grocery Market as a bagger.
That's the perfect high school job when you're growing up. Started giving you the people skills I'm sure that you're taking out to the field today. Tell me how.
I turned 15 and got my working papers and went and got a job.
Always the industrious spirit that I see in you now. That's awesome. Tell me, how did you end up going from being a bagger to working for Kidde? What's your story there?
So I worked for a company previously, Van Spray Technologies. We sold parts to the heating distributor world. We got purchased by United Technologies, which at the time was the parent company of Kidde. And this job happened to be open, and I saw it on the job board. I said, why not? Let me see, give it a shot. And, unfortunately, the oil burner market is dying, and, we're thriving with Kidde, so it was a good move for me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I know you've been in the industry for a bit of time. Tell me, what's the biggest change that you've seen since joining this world?
I'd have to say definitely the technology, as far as business technology, allowing us to do different things such as talk on the phone and do webinars. And it's, we used to get fax orders. Now that's a thing of the past. It's with EDI and all the advances with the technology world have made the sales job a lot easier, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, thank God for technology these days, with all the big changes going on during quarantine, this whole COVID-19 thing, working from home and whatnot. So we've all had to change our working ways. What has been your biggest change? How have you been filling your free time since you've been, stuck at home?
Well, and that's a great question because, it's funny. I realized how much time I spent in the car previously, it is great because you get a lot of calls done during the we call it windshield time as you're driving along. But I've been filling those in with, just doing a lot of conference calls and webinars and looking for, and we've been challenged with some initiatives at Kidde to try to recover lost sales. So I'm a part of that team. So it's been challenging, but it's fun. The hardest thing is just being stuck at home all the time because I'm being in front of the customer.
Yeah, definitely. I know it's a big change for a lot of us, no events or in-person meetings and all of that certainly changed the way that we do business. And I know you like to go out and about and entertain with your customers and go to sporting events and whatnot. And, with all of that being canceled right now, in your free time, the sports that you used to like to watch, if you could go back to that, if you could only pick one sport to have right now, what would it be?
Oh, that's such a tough question for me. I am a sports nut, so the NHL playoffs to me are amazing, but on a day-to-day basis, I really miss baseball. I love watching the Red Sox at night and, after dinner, just, maybe jumping on the laptop, answering a couple emails while the game's on. I know people think it's slow, but it's a perfect game to do that with because, you can kind of hear the crack of the bat and look up and see what's going on. And, from inning to inning. And baseball is such a big part of my summer. I really, if I had to pick one, I wish baseball was back.
No, I hear you.
I miss them all.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of people out there missing sports. And I personally love watching the Red Sox too. So I certainly miss that. As a sports guy, I'm sure you watch a lot of ESPN, and I've heard that they're doing a lot of unique sporting events right now to fill the hours since there's no sports currently taking place. Do you have a favorite of these new sporting fun activities to watch?
I not really. I did catch myself watching cornhole one day, and I'm like, oh, I have a problem. But as far as ESPN, the thing I enjoyed the most during quarantine was the Last Dance about Michael Jordan. I had a chance to watch that. It was a 10-series documentary that was absolutely riveting and amazing to me. He was my favorite athlete, so I really enjoyed watching that a lot.
I haven't seen it yet, but I have heard that it's absolutely tremendous. So it's something we'll definitely add to the list, you know, when I get some free time to watch TV when the kids aren't taking it over.
Yes.
Tell me, what is the most fun virtual activity you've done with family or friends while you've been stuck at home?
I haven't done too much of it. One of the things I have done is I've kind of reconnected with a lot of the kids I grew up with. They started a Friday night call and I got invited, and it was really, you know, at one point I think there was 40 of us on the call. So it was like a mini
Wow.
high school reunion. So that's been fun.
Oh, that's really
Reconnecting with some
cool.
old friends, and I've enjoyed that.
Oh, that's fantastic. Great that you're able to reach out and connect. And again, back to that new technology piece. I mean, what a, you know, what a great thing that we have Zoom and Teams and all these great platforms to be able to do that on. I know you mentioned The Last Dance, but do you have another favorite TV series that you've binged or a book that you've read during quarantine?
I have read a few books. The one show that I binged is Shameless on Showtime.
So good.
So when I started watching, I realized I started watching in either the end of season 2 or the beginning of 3. So I went back and watched it from the beginning. And I was so glad, because some of the things that I had missed that I was unsure of, that answered the question. So I actually rewatched that whole series. And it's I think on their 9th or 10th year. So it was, you know, my family was like, "Are you watching Shameless again?" But those first 2 seasons were so good. I'm glad I rewatched them or watched them for the first time.
Yeah, definitely a great show. Oh, William H. Macy is just fantastic in it. And it's so outlandish, but it's so great.
Yeah. Who's your favorite character?
Oh gosh, it's been a while since I watched the show, but I'm trying to think of what his name is. The oldest brother is the one that goes to college. Oh shoot, why can't I think of his name? Yes, Lip.
Yeah.
Lip. He's by far my favorite character.
Yeah, I like Lip.
How about you?
I like Big Kev.
Yeah. Oh, he's fun.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I might have to go back and watch that one again. That was a good one.
Yeah, for those who haven't watched the show, it's a very, very well done, and you can watch it on Netflix.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. Great recommendation there. Well, Jason, my last question to you, the question I've been asking everybody that I've talked to, if you were a superhero, what would your superpower be?
So I said to you earlier, this is the toughest question I think I've had to answer out of them all. You know, when I think superhero, I'm like, you know, do I pick a specific one or the attribute? But I think if I had to pick a characteristic, I think I'd like to be fast like the Flash. I think that'd be fun. Yeah, because I've never been really fast in my life, so to be able to run around and get things done and move quickly, I think I would like that.
Oh, well, you know what? When we do get back to, you know, whatever the new normal is with sales calls, you know, if you had that fast power, you could zip in and out and, you know, ditch that windshield time. So.
That's exactly right. That was my thought process.
Awesome. Well, Jason, thanks so much for joining us today. Really enjoyed getting to know you a little bit better. I'm sure our viewers did too. I hope you stay safe and healthy, and I look forward to seeing you in person hopefully soon.
You too as well.
Thanks, Jason. Bye.